Good.
Good afternoon, everyone. Right now, Erico Andre will talk to us about unlocking the power of Plone distribution. Thank you so much.
Gracias. Hello, I'm Eric Andre. I believe you saw me a few times talking a lot, interrupting other people here. Sorry about that, but no sorry because, yeah, that's me. I've been a Plone integrator since 2004. I founded 2 CMS-related companies. I am kind of like Ramon, but everything he touches, gold, everything I touch, bankruptcy. That's, yeah, I keep trying. I currently work for Kit Concept. It's amazing experience. I was talking to a friend in here that shall not be named. It's a little bit intimidating when you push something of your code and then there's a reply like David Glick or Victor or many other team members. Oh, they review them kind of, oh my God, I'm not good enough to deal with that. I'm still the Plone Foundation president. That changes in less than a bit more than 24 hours, but that's good. And I am a textbook case of ADHD. So that's why you see my name in so many different places. I'm not Martin Aspelli. Martin Aspelli is a genius. I just suffer from a short attention span. So I see something shiny, I move there, I do in here, same thing. In this talk, I'll discuss something I created called Plone Distribution, a new package that will be part of Plone 6.1. I'm saying that, and Moritz is here, Timo is here, Victor is here, Eric still is here, and it was on the keynote, so that's fine. There's no real pressure here. But the real title and subtitle of this talk should be something else. It's basically your own Plone CMS, or how every successful integrator of Plone for the last 20 years benefit from the collective work as their secret weapon to offer something to their clients and reach for market segment, vertical, geographical area domination. That's fine. None of us tries to be the next Meta. We just try to be good lifestyle companies. And one additional thing is, if you follow something here and you become really successful, the only thing I ask, come visit me in Brazil, because between the conference time, I miss you all. It's so nice to talk to all of you every 12 months or a bit longer. So it happened more than once this year. I think about something. I talk to my colleagues. I think like, oh, this should be in Plone, or we should change Plone. I start drafting a solution. That was not the case in the past, but now I start writing stuff. And I discuss with Victor, Fred, Timo, a bunch of other people. And then I decide to do the next thing is, let me see if someone did something about this already. Because it's a good idea. I talk to a bunch of people, they say, yeah, it sounds like a good idea. Sometimes they say, yeah, no. And then I drop this. And I just find out that there's a Eric Andre in the past that had the same idea. And of course, Eric Andre in the past was amazing, but had also a short attention span. But that was not the case with Moritz, because Moritz is the living memory of the old Eric Andre. So I searched for Plone distribution. The first thing that appears is a talk I gave back in 2014. But actually, it's the description of the report of the talk by Moritz. It's the same person, same soccer club, you can see, right? New glasses, haircut, different hair color, but the same crazy idea that Plone actually should have distributions. We should help people build their own packaging of Plone. And by the way, it seems I like to expose the fact that I support this soccer club that no one outside my neighborhood in São Paulo knows about, so much that this was also in a Flickr album from the Plone Foundation, and that's the party in 2013. And then I found a even earlier version of a Plone Symposium, so it keeps happening. Of course, this time is on purpose. When I find myself in there, and I was like, okay, I'm going to wear just for good luck. My talk back in 2014 was the experience that I had in Brazil. There was something called Portal Modelo that was created back in 2002, 3, or 4. That was a Plone packaging already. They were patching the shit out of Plone since the early times of Plone. In 2011, I had this crazy idea of what if we copy what they're doing for legislative chambers, city councils, and apply that to the entire Brazilian government. We had some leverage at the time, so we created Portal Padron. We basically tried to patch a bunch of things in Plone, have a nice site creation interface, put that on GitHub, and then a year later or year and a half later, I decided to move to Berlin. So what happens? I have no idea. Welcome to 2023. Some of those things are still in my head, but when I came back to Brazil, I found out more than 30 different universities were using that since 2014, totally unmaintained, and they were happy because it solved their problem. They downloaded something that was not pure Plone. It was Plone with a theme, already some questions, you go there, answer, and ta-da, I have a website. And it's up and running. Oh, do they use Elasticsearch, Solar? No. Most of them use exactly like that. And I believe we had a material explaining you should have something called Zio. So usually they have Nginx, 2 backend instances, and Zio. That's it. The requirements from this idea still apply now. And of course, it's not invented here. It's not like, oh my God, we are brilliant. Actually, Paul Ruland kind of showed me this was around way longer before I created the Portal Padron, thanks to Drupal distributions, and there's something called CRM that's widely used for NGOs. So you get a base Drupal, but already packaging to allow you to edit and add people, contacts, and so on and so forth. And it's important, CRM does not sound like, does not feel like a CMS usage, right? But they did it. And then I found out they have one for video, one for blog, one for everything. And if you go to Drupal.org, you're going to find reference to this. And this is good, right? And I think, oh, we can do exactly the same thing with Plone. It's easy, especially because we have access to the source code. We have lots of tests in Plone, and you can take a look. But Plone was never friendly to distributions at all. It's something that you can do, and then merge a pull request that seems like a good idea, and you're stuck in an old version of Plone forever. That happened in Brazil with Portal Modelo back in the Aspeli days. We had Plone 2.5. They created Portal Modelo. They had that in thousands of different installations. And then Aspeli came, wrote his book, Plone 3. They got pissed, like, this is not the Plone I love. I'm not going to upgrade. And they maintained 2.5 for 3 or 4 years more. So if you, for any reason, you need an upgrade of your 2.5.5 Plone site, there's one in Brazil. 2.5.6 was released and maintained. The whole point is, it should not be like that. We should be smarter. One of the problems we have is the logic to create a new Plone site is already distributed. We have the browser view that actually create the site. It's in product CMF Plone, it's admin.py, right? And we have content now in Plone Voto, in Plone app content types, but the content created in Plone app content types is not really there because the translations are where? Plone app locales, which is good, by the way. Being able to give that to someone and basically say, translate that to Klingon, and they simply edit one file is good. It's way better than trying to find out where in Plone it works. But one works with JSON, the other one works with a bunch of Python code. It's not easy to extract that. Besides that, there's no clear contract. How do I create a new site from Python code? I saw during all these years in Plone 5 or 6 different ways. The way we use now in Docker, there's of course the Plone recipe site something that is part of that thing we should not name 3 times, otherwise it appears again and haunts everyone. We moved past that. But jokes aside, create a site from Python code. It's something like, I cannot do by heart, I need to go copy from somewhere, put, oh, there's a browser view missing, there's a layer missing, that's why I cannot create the site and so on and so forth. It's complex. Doable if you're Philip Bauer, if you're King Nguyen, if you're Gil, you can do that blindfolded. If you have terrible memory, you kind of know where to look for, right? And there's no REST API service, and without REST API services, how can you provide a SaaS deployment of Plone, right? People do that. There are ways of doing that, and each one of us did in a different way. Like most of the things we do when we are locked in our own companies and use cases. But even so, see, not hard, not really supported, but ta-da! We do have many examples. When I start looking for that, if you go to the README of plone.distribution, by heart, of course, I remember Portal Modelo and Padron, after all their lines of code of mine in there, Quave, Synate, because it's really cool. There's Bika that I forgot to add in here, and everything else in here. These are the things I was able to gather in the last 24 hours talking to someone, and they say, oh, but come on, Io Comune. Yes, of course. It's a factory of sites. It's basically, I have one site, it works. Now I'm going to sell the same thing to a second client. Of course, there are people that basically do that manually, but they use the same add-ons. There are people that simply have a script that press a button, generate a new repository, and blah. But in the end, we're talking about the distribution. It's the way you pack it, you pack Plone, or you pack a solution based on Plone to your clients. No matter if it's one, no matter if it's open source, but you're packaging Plone with your opinions. And by the way, my company, Simples Consultoria, has 2, or actually had 2 back in 2013. We had one intranet, because who in here has a company and never developed an intranet offering of Plone? You do that not because it's, oh my God, I'm reinventing the wheel, but because it takes literally 5 minutes to get up and running with a Plone intranet. And then you put your opinions on top and go on. And we had also a news portal distribution, because I had a career connected to journalism and so on. And back in 2013, Simples had 5 clients using the same base solution with a different look and feel and content organization. Oh, we have a new version of Collective Cover. Ta-da, all of them get for free. That was the approach we had to be able, with a smaller team, serve many clients at the same time. Reality check in here, maybe we're not selling Plone, right? And when I say we, I'm not saying the community, I'm saying the integrators. Because in the end, unless you're Microsoft, unless you're IBM, you do not sell your product to the end user. You kind of evangelize someone to sell your product to the end user. Why? Scale. How many people in here have a sales background? Please, raise your hand. How many people here do sales on at least once per month to get something? Come on, Timo. Yes. Right? Timo was like, no, no, no. Yes. Back at Simples, it was the same. And after a while, you know what happens? You get really good at convincing people to buy your solution, but not generally. It's not like, oh, I'm going to sell Plone for accountants. I do not talk their lingo. I have no idea what makes them happy or choose solution A or B, right? But on the other hand, take a look at all these nice things in here. They have in common a clear segment. Why Volto is there? Because in the end, Volto is the way the Plone community sells its cool new thing outside. But how many people do you think are going to download Plone 6 with Volto by default, put on their website and start adding content? At minimum, they want new add-ons or change the look and feel. Meaning, it's something we convince somebody else to put in there. So in general, Plone CMS, it should be targeted not at the end user in general, because every time we try to discuss Plone as a product to the end user, Timo and we keep discussing about, no, because I know it's not working this way of selling. And I say, yeah, but in this scenario it does not work. It works by magic in another scenario. Because both of us are right. If you take a small cut geographically or by segment, things make sense. And that's something a bit harder for us. But before we start, Fred Van Dyke said to me, yeah, man, we need to define what is a plone distribution. Just to make sure that Moritz do not understand one thing, I understand another, and you understands a third different thing. First, it's going to be a contract to create a new instance of a Plone site. And you see Plone site together because I'm talking about the dexterity class. Oh, but can I use that to create something else? Yes, you can, but let's try at least to agree on something. And then it's conventions about how to create the initial content. Because again, every code base generated by Cookie Cutter right now uses the same script I created to solve my own problems 5 or 10 years ago. That's one way. Kit concept has a second way. Export import has a third way. Plone app content types has a fourth way. And we keep going. And that's not, oh, and supposedly generic setup, there's a content export and import. That for me, it's kind of a vaporware that we put in there and waited for someone to fix. And no one jumped into that. Truth to be told is, or it worked at some point and then, oh, nobody's using that and so on. So the point in here is we need to have one way of dealing with this. Some use cases, a starting point for a new CMS project. You put in there a wizard so people answer questions, they download, they answer questions, and they are happy, they go on their own. Oh, what is the CMS project? A website, a public website, could be an intranet, could be a headless backend serving content to be used in a virtual, in a e-store selling, I don't know, Star Trek memorabilia. Ta-da! And you think, oh, that's crazy, right? Wrong. Because there's something called Contentful that's huge, and every cool startup in Germany, basically, it's kind of like choosing WordPress for my blog. It's kind of, yeah, you know, we're going to have a backend for like generator content to manage your content. That's going to be contentful. Contentful, people add products in there. They add campaigns in there because it's there. One day I look at that and what the hell? We can do better than that with base Plone. Why we are not doing that? Because someone needs to find a way of making that easy for crazy people who have crazy idea implement something. And of course, the basis of us a SaaS offering of something based on this backend. So we created Plone Distribution. Ta-da! That's the name. So every time I say Plone Distributions, and the name is plone.distribution because it's kind of the factory for it. But naming is hard. There's still time to fix that. The idea is making Plone integrator friendly, right? And by the way, when I say integrator, I'm not only saying that for companies that make money out of Plone. I could be looking right now, there's a camera there, I could be looking to my friends at Serpro in Brazil. You could have your own wizard to create a new hot site and sell to your clients. Imagine a university, oh, there's a new, we need to create a new event, site for a new event. You build your own decisions on top and then next, finish, create a website. Distributions need to be first-class citizens, and I really hope it does not become just another line somewhere, but it needs to be first-class citizens. We need to start by getting plone.voto, the initial content, converting to a small distribution inside plone.voto. Do the same for Plone app content types. Instead of having the boilerplate of code after the setup handlers, just implement something simple there. Cleaning up the existing code base. Again, there's something called Python. They have this crazy thing called PEP8, and there should be only one way. It might not be obvious unless you're Moritz, because it mentions a Dutch person. That's the one I know and love in here, working on a daily basis. So for Plone 6.0, it's an add-on. I've been working with that, trying new things. For 6.1, the idea is to be a core package above products.cmf Plone, because that way I can use Plone API. Yeah, and lower the barrier for people to improve that. Documentation should help integrators bring ideas to life, and could be crazy ideas. I could have a distribution that has only one content type, or actually two. The page and an image. And I could use that to replace Google Photos. Oh my, but Google Photo has a bunch of features. Yes, including stealing your data, using that to train their large models. I don't know about you, but in my family, my kid refused to do the biometric face recognition on the building I live. My girlfriend is suing the building, and we are not allowing them. And then kind of, but you give your data to Facebook, and I'm, yeah, and I can sue Facebook. If my data leaks in here, I can only cry. And this is the kind of stuff that more and more people are waking up and, yeah, we should not be giving our data for free on those platforms. Crazy idea. Someone needs to implement. Someone that has this itch to be solved. Sally is not here, so I can basically quote Jakarta. There was this talk in San Francisco 2011. Basically, yeah, you should not be using Plone for everything. Maybe Pyramid, Django, and we can put Fast API, Flask, blah, 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 and it goes on forever. But that's Nate basically saying the thing that everybody knew back in 2007. Plone is a CMS, not a web framework. And guess what happened when we made that decision? Part of our community moved to Django or to Pyramid. And is that a problem? No, honestly, I think if we have kept that way, we will not be here. focusing on doing one thing and one thing only saved us from the battleground that was the whole, oh, yet another web framework, right? Some people continued to develop things on top of Plone that were not strictly CMS. We still have BDA shop. We had forgot the name. We had Plumi for quite a long time, but in the end, most of the good cases we have are CMS, either website or intranet related. But actually, Plone is a platform, not a CMS. And when I say it's a platform, oh, is it going to scale to be the new, put the name in here. So every time I say something, oh, maybe we could create with Plone an Instagram clone. I'm not saying we are going to compete with Instagram. I'm saying something like, we could create something that goes into Fediverse and integrates in the Fediverse via ActivityPub and so on and so forth. And with the benefits of, oh, this is my private picture, please do not publish to the internet. This is public, it's a picture of a cat, everybody loves cat, there's no human beings hurt in here, go on, push everywhere. It's a simple, it's the type of idea. Oh, but I can develop that with, put your framework here. Yes, you can, but usually with Plone, most of those things are way faster because we have permissions there, well solved, we have workflows, and we have the basis for a content type, right? Think about that. You have the power to create simple applications or prototype something way faster than you do with Fast API. And same way I put money every month on the Plone Foundation, I sponsor also Sebastian from Fast API. So it's not like I don't like Fast API. Yes, I do love Fast API. Basically gave me a shitload of stuff, but in the end, we have a platform. And this platform can be used to create really powerful CMS-enabled applications. And of course, that for years generated a problem. And who in here at one point in their lives was part of the marketing team in Plone? Just the two of us? Oh, that's good. You see, marketing in Plone, it's really hard because it's a vector addition. So company A, based in Ferrara, they sell government solutions for the Italian market. They need us to go this direction. Company B sells research institute solutions in Germany. They need us to go B. Company C, it's a state, no, actually, D, it's a state-owned IT company in Brazil. They are way bigger than all of us together. They want us to go here. When you sum all of this, we end up with Plone is robust, secure, 20 years of experience, truly open source, and has great usability. Every time we try something else, guess what happened? Yeah, that does not work for me. Or every time we said, let's write something about competition with Drupal, Drupal is not competition for me. But it is for me. For me, it's the other solution. Yeah, but I never heard about that. Yeah, but that's big in my small world. One of those things is like, every time I come to Europe, specifically to Germany, I hear typo 3. You know, typo 3, it's something that exists in the borders of Germany and German occupied territories. And you say, what? There's a huge German colony in Brazil, in a state in Brazil. And guess where is the only implementation of typo 3 in the entire country? Ta-da! That's the whole point. Competition is hard. People get different targets. They have different needs. The whole point is Plone marketing should focus integrators or people that create bunch of things, while each distribution will talk to their on target audience. We are going to reach a point where, oh, we have intranet solutions. We have Quave, we have something else. We showcase both. We showcase success case of both. We have Plone Golf solutions. We showcase all of them. It's good when you say, for government, we have this, but the solution Emil implements for Belgium does not apply in Italy. The solution from Italy does not apply in Brazil. The rules are different. Even sometimes the content types are different, meaning you need to adapt. In the end, client is king. So this is the look and feel of the new interface to create a new site. In here, it's basically starting the Plone distribution. Make start, you have two options. If you go and add additional, keep adding distributions, they're going to appear here. Oh, can I add 50? Yes. Is that a good idea? Only if you have your job is basically showcase Plone installations. But this is it. And you can limit which one is going to appear. Oh, I don't want to show Voto or Classic UI. I just want to show mine by default. Done. Some examples of Plone distributions. Again, most of those are like early stages or prototypes or proof of concept. First one is collective Plone intranet. It's a proof of concept. There's the documentation about how to get up and running with a Docker Compose already. Oh my God, is this collective Plone intranet? Is this a replacement for Quave? No. This is just to show that if you give me 5 minutes a podium, and a podium 7 minutes in here, there's a video of that on the internet somewhere. I create a Plone intranet using Plone out of the box without writing a single line of code and talking for 5 minutes before I touch the computer. Because Plone is that powerful. It's there, things are there. Most of us know that if someone gives you a challenge, you can implement, but end users, they have no idea. And they ask, oh, how do I create? Ta-da, it's there. This is an example. One important point, there are no content types, basic example content, but it proves the point. We have the new generation of the Portal Modelo and Portal Padron. We are targeting more than 1,500 websites to be migrated to this. So we kicked off during the Cerrado Sprint. We had more than 30 people. We had very nice discussions about that. Content type, new content types, I believe we have 1 or 2. One of them is called service. That's something like, oh, you want to get your new driver's license. You create a new service that's title, target audience, blocks, and a link for external system. Because, oh, should I develop everything in Plone? No, please don't do it. Because there are people out there developing stuff, just point people there. The gov.br website, it's exactly like that. They have a catalog of services where you simply go there. Oh, I want this. Click, it goes to external service. Right now, the blocking is teaming with the Brazilian government design system. Why is it a blocker? Because everyone that knows me, I'm not a Voto CSS guy. Every time I touch CSS, something beautiful dies in agony around the world. Okay? So they have like this DSGov. Someone told me kind of, oh, I know there's a repository somewhere that implemented everything in React. So it could be an easy way to be implemented, but I have no idea yet. November, we're going to do a sprint to get the version 1.0 of one for education, meaning universities, one for legislative chambers, one for the federal government, and one for the justice system of Brazil. we have kit concept dot Votolite theme. There was a question. We want to deploy Votolite theme somewhere that people can see how cool it is. I want to show all the blocks and how they behave. So we needed something with example content. Kit concept Votolite theme is a Python package that has one distribution. Distribution is a bunch of, actually just one JavaScript file. It is there. alloc decides to add something. Oh, I just implemented another block. Go there, make this run, go there, add the new example content, export, go to the file system, git add, git commit, git push, tada, deployed in this new website. The goal in here is to allow developers to showcase this nice theme. This is the way we are doing things. And this yet to be named, because collective blog it's already taken. I created my own site. From the idea to the site, I was able to make it in 6 hours, including doing some migration of old content. Of course, I was selective, even though everything can be found on archive.org. I prefer not to bring every single content from there. The whole point was, okay, I'm writing in 20 different places. I want one single place. I target that. I can think of one additional user of this blog thing is the person that blogs the most. Thank you for that. He's doing that right now. That's Moritz. And it's basically about me, the blog that needs to be SEO friendly, meaning, oh, if a crawler goes to your site, there's nothing, there's no preview image and so on, because you see, I do not have a department of people to create images, generate a nice image that's going to be pushed to via Open Graph and so on and so forth, and also social networking. You write a blog post, push to your social networks, because I don't know about you, when you write something and nobody reads, it's kind of depressing. At least you can push, and then Chris McDonald goes there and click on favorites, and then you're, oh my God, Chris McDonald from Pyramid knows my name. So you basically turn into a happy person. Moving on, how do I get started? Ta-da, like this. There are two things you need to know. Allow distributions, limit which distributions will be listed in the initial page, and develop distributions to avoid people basically saying, oh, this is my example content, save, and then writing in the wrong place. We explicitly set that when you're developing a new distribution to save on the right location. Some FAQ, things that should be there in the docs, and we're going to sprint on that. Distribution is not a policy package because, oh, I have this amazing policy package. So I create a site and then I go there and add on, everything changes. That's not the case. In here, you have something that even does not need a generic setup profile. Ideally, you simply connect things that already exist. Besides that, you can have a complex form for site creation with JSON schema. One example, collective.plone intranet. There's additional dot in there. You start creating a website. Which type of authentication? Plone, GitHub, or Google? GitHub. Changes, you fill, and go on. In the Brazilian, the Portal Brasil, there's a field for you to upload your logo, because everyone wants to have their logo, different logo, and not generating a new photo image and so on and so forth. I'm looking forward for Mikkel's pull request be merged to make that easier. And entry points allow you complete control of site creation. You have a pre-handler that can basically change whatever answer the user sent. You have a handler that actually does the site creation it's where the creation of a new website is that currently is on admin.py is wrapped, and you have a post handler, for instance, to change values after everything run and change the configuration for authentication. Next steps, content and translations. I really want to discuss that because I'm not going to provide, imagine how cool it is, 45 different distributions inside Plone Voto, and the change is to the text. Maybe we should think about that, or maybe we should ignore that. Because, for instance, in Brazil, I do not need this. Because, you know, Brazilians speak what? Brazilian. That's the language we speak. Especially Margarida in here, she knows it's true. We speak some like similar language, but not that much. And then the second one, types or not to types, or features or not to features. The point is adding a feature on a distribution eases the development cycle, but it generates a matrix of testing scenarios. Because, oh, do I want this feature enabled or not, and so on and so forth. I want to have an open heart discussion with all of you. Of course, for Plone Voto, for app content types, that's done. It's there. The distribution is only taking care of loading content. And then, of course, have this picture of this nice human being in here. We need to improve content export import because there's one thing that right now hurts everyone. The fact that we are generating one contents.json file, that works, that's fine, until Alok and Victor are working, and the moment one of them merges, deletes something else from the other, and GitHub does not show the whole diff, meaning we end up with a problem here. So Plone 6.1, it will be in core. We need to discuss a bunch of things here and during the sprint and implement things and clean up the code and decide what to do next. And I have a dream. Is that dream going back to Tokyo with all of you, going to that karaoke and making fun of King Nguyen for choosing eat Bavarian food the night everybody else wants to go to karaoke? Yes, it means that, but also it means that in Plone 6.2, I would like to ship with 6 or 7 distributions. I'm not talking about crazy stuff. Oh, I want something like the Instagram stuff. I'm talking about use cases based on out-of-the-box Plone we have right now. Oh, personal website, just example content, and some selections. Intranet, same thing. Is this competing with anything else? No. This is kind of the seed we plant to make sure other integrators go the extra mile. Summary, it's almost there, right? It's not revolutionary. It's actually cleaning up and making sure we have a green field for everyone to build on top. And I'm going to be sprinting on that. Meanwhile, enjoy some penguins from Ushuaia, from the end of the world. We never managed to get there to a sprint, but at least Oliver invited me to go and watch the penguins keep dancing in loop like that. Thank you all. I do not know if we have time for questions. Yes, I knew. Damn it. Okay, one quick question. Anyone? See, everyone wants to go to lightning talks. Lightning talks. Thank you.